unfortunately.
Okay, we're recording.
Recording? Okay.
World
Joe,
War
what
II
about the
stockings.
stockings in World War II?
Well, my mom would always tell us that they had this liquid that they would put on their legs.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
And they'd
yeah.
have to paint the seam up the back.
Oh, jeez.
So they
Gosh.
look like stockings.
Yeah, yeah, I forgot about that, and it was like orange. I mean, it wasn't like any cosmetic you would get today. Yeah, it was, they were nasty too.
So anyway, we took 2 trips to Europe. The first one was with Connie and Bob Spangenberg, very good friends of ours, who are both now gone. But we had a ball. We went to a motel, or a big hotel, had a couple swimming pools.
Yeah, one salt water.
And what we did, one day we would stay and rest, swim, hang around the pool, and then the next day we'd travel to all these different countries in Spain. And what was funny, Connie, she was a character. So the first time we're down by the swimming pool, they go, no tops there, the women don't wear tops, some of them. So Connie comes walking down through the people and all
She done-
we laughed.
She had this big pink hat she hand carried all the way to Europe.
Bob hand carried.
Bob hand carried. And it was in a bag called Spoiled Rotten, which was really quite appropriate. But anyway, so she had on this big hat. And she did the biggest double take I've ever seen in my life.
I thought you were gonna say she had her top off.
No.
Well, let me get to this story. It's amazing. We're up, I don't know, maybe the 4th, 5th floor in this big hotel overlooking the Mediterranean.
We each had our own apartment.
Yeah, side by side. So one morning, I was eating breakfast and could see out to the Mediterranean. And I see a boat out there, and seemed to be stopped. And I see like a big rubber boat pull up beside it. And I watched it. And pretty soon the rubber boat was coming in shore right at me. They were out half a mile probably. And it dawned on me, they're probably bringing in drugs. So I got on the phone trying to tell them, and I can't speak a word of Spanish, that I called Policia, call Policia. That's the word for police there. And I called back again, police, drugs, in the water. So, I don't know, finally, 5-10 minutes went by, and they're unloading these bales of stuff into the van that they had brought there. So all of a sudden the cops start coming. And the cops got out and the gunfire started.
Oh, really?
So I'm standing on the balcony and these 2 guys are trying to escape on the other side of the rocks where the
Yeah.
cops
They really
were
were
saying.
drugs?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I'm saying, Policia, over there. So they saw me and went over, boom.
They
One
shot
shot,
up?
the guy stopped.
Oh, they just stopped.
Yeah, but the thing is, I mean, by then, there were a lot of other people out on their balconies. And he doesn't know if they've got accomplices in the hotel.
No.
And he just, Policia, and he's pointing out these guys.
How'd you know they were drugs?
I
You
just
could
figured,
just-
why would they be way out that far with a rubber boat, big rubber boat? And what happened was, they usually do that at night, we heard. Well, they had trouble with the boat or something and didn't get in until morning. This is broad daylight. And
Yeah,
they're trying to bring these drugs in.
well, I mean, I had noticed this white van sitting over in the parking lot that was supposed to be for the hotel guests, And, that was unusual that van was there. But anyway, Connie and Bob had the next apartment to us, and our balconies didn't touch each other, but they were pretty close. And we wanted them to see what was happening, so leaning over our balcony as far as I can, trying to yell into their balcony, into their thing. And then they didn't hear me. The reason they came out is because they're in there, and Connie said, Bob, go out and see who that idiot is that's saying Policia.
I don't remember idiot. We had a lot of fun with them. They always went places together. The July 4th celebration in
Montrose.
Montrose, another chicken.
Yeah.
Met them at Central Church for one of the evening courses. Been friends for years.
Yeah. Anyway, while we were in Spain and Portugal, maybe it was after we went to Portugal. Anyway, we went to the Rock of Gibraltar. I mean, that was just such an experience because I was like, you know, I was this little girl with nothing in Westover School learning about the Rock of Gibraltar. Here I was on it, you know, and that was cool, interesting because it was, it's still a territory of England. So, you know, there were English-speaking people there. And the funny thing is we parked just outside of, like on a side street, but, you know. And so we were crossing over to get to the rock itself, which has a town in it and lots of buildings. And I noticed in the road, in the concrete, there's these like lights embedded, different colored lights, you know? And so anyway, it's a big, long, wide street to cross. So we crossed it and we got a cab and the cab driver was going to be like our guide. So he said, I'm going to take you up to the top of the rock because there are things up there, from up there I could show you, you know. So we go up to the top of the rock and there's a parking area and there's a railing and there's these stairs leading down. And he said, just, you have to be careful with the Barbary apes because they like to jump out of the trees, which are, you know, right there, lining these sidewalks, and they'll grab your glasses and fling them. And so Bob started on first and I was behind him. And I mean, we're both like jumping every time one of these apes jump out at us. And he said, don't worry, you know, they won't bite you. They'll, you know, just hang on your glasses. Follow me, you know. So Bob had on a lightweight gray jacket, and next thing I know, this ape jumps out, lands, hangs on his arm, and takes the nip out of his jacket.
Well, they weren't big apes, they were like big monkeys.
Yeah, but that's what they call the Barbary apes.
Yeah.
Well, so anyway, if you go on down the stairs enough, he wanted us to see the cemetery, which is above ground there, because we could dig in the rock, you know, and also the airport. And so when we look at the airport, this light bulb goes on in my head. That's that big wide sidewalk we just crossed with the lights in it. That's the runway.
Oh,
Because this jet
Well,
comes
you know,
flying in.
When we first got there, there's a red light, green light thing. Gee, that's funny to have a red light here, you know, I wonder what that's for. So we went right by it, didn't realize that.
We were on the runway. Anyway, Connie and I got really spooked by the apes. And so I guess we saw the runway first and then was the cemetery. And by then we'd given up interest in the cemetery. So we went back up at the top where the car was parked. And we stood there back to back so that we could be seeing in all directions and making sure that none of these apes were going
stood
to
back
jump
to back.
Oh dear. And then we went back to the rock again a few days later, the next week or whatever, and that's when we took the hydroplane over to Africa and spent the day in Morocco.
It was only about 10 miles or so, 20.
Oh. Yeah,
Big airboat, skimming over the water.
yeah.
Probably held 100 people.
But it was filthy, dirty, poor. It looked like, I mean, the streets were little, narrow, you know, like this wide maybe. And then there would be a door, and that would be somebody's living, you know, dwelling. And then it was like what you would see in Jesus' time, you know, as far as the way the town was set up. And then you would come to a courtyard where there'd be a spigot, and there would be like a community oven, bake, you know, you bring your pita dough down and pat it out and put it in there and bake it.
Well, they were washing clothes in those stone things that held all the water.
Yeah.
in the water.
And, you know, so little children, like, not that big, carrying these big jugs of water back uphill so that they would have water in their house, apartment, whatever. It's just, and then they took us through the butcher shop, and it was, the meat market, it was just disgusting.
Hmm.
The chickens are just hanging there and
Yeah.
flies all over everything. Then they took us to the restaurant, and this was supposed to be a really nice restaurant. And you had to eat where they were being salted. And in an alcove, they had a band playing, you know, their Moroccan kind of music. And then after lunch, we were going to be treated to a belly dancer who was aptly named because she had a belly. Her belly dancing day should have been done, you know, but anyway, we were seated by a big merchant seaman, I think he was from Norway or something, his wife and his daughter. He was huge. And the belly dancer wanted somebody to get up and dance with her. And so nobody really wanted to, I guess, but she got him up there, and she had him take his shirt off, and, you know, and she was trying to teach him the belly dance. It was pretty good. That was probably the best part of, you know, that whole deal. But the restrooms there are so primitive and just,
We went to a bullfight in Spain,
yeah.
and it's gory as can be. And the last bull to be stabbed and killed, he would be the final show of the big matador. And he killed the bull and cut off his ear. He walks around the circle of the arena, and if your group shouted the loudest, you get the ear. He throws it up into the crowd.
Yeah.
And when Dorothy and Connie had to go to the bathroom, they found the bathroom. It was holes in the floor.
I didn't go.
Yeah,
I
just
thought,
spot.
you can't. It was just a hole on the floor. But the, you know, he's waving this ear around. Where's blood coming out of it? Of course, you know. And these people are clapping and cheering because they want him to throw the ear at them. And that was in our favorite town. No, that wasn't in our favorite. Our favorite town was
Rhonda.
Not Rhonda. That's where the new bridge was. Anyway, we have it all documented at home in a photo album. Mijas, that was our favorite town. One of these white walled villages just clinging to the side of the mountain.
So that was your second trip?
And that was our first trip.
This was all your first trip, this whole story?
Yeah. We had,
Spain and Portugal. Then another time, Connie and Bob didn't go. We didn't invite them. Not that it was our 50th anniversary.
40th.
40th, whatever. And we just wanted to be alone.
well, we were recreating the trip.
Yeah, the trip I took when I was in the service. And we did. We followed the same route. Rented a car. We didn't want to be part of a tour group where they rush you around
Right.
and you take your pictures, you jump back on the bus.
bus.
And we were so thankful we did it on our own. We planned it all at home for
Mm-hmm.
a long time, getting maps from
Mhm.
Germany and Europe. And it was really neat. Amazing countries over there, especially Italy.
So what countries did you visit then?
We landed in Munich. We drove through Switzerland. Well, we partly drove through Switzerland, and then the car got put on a train to go through the mountains.
Mm-hmm.
Through
The mountains, and I'm not sure what country we came out in because we couldn't find where we were on the map. And so this biker was coming by, and we were at a stop sign. It was a rural area. And I said to, pointing and trying to, and like half disgusted, she said, well, you're in, say, Italy.
a different country than we thought.
Yeah, we were in a different country than what we thought we were. That's why I couldn't find it on the map. But really, generally, we made out really well with the maps. Yeah, so then we drove along the Mediterranean coast, eastward and westward, And France dips down between Italy and Monaco, which is what's where we wanted to end up. So we spent one night in this little piece of France. And then we went to Monaco the next day and night. And it was their many hundred, 1,300, 1,400, whatever, anniversary of that family's reign of the country. So they really had the gardens in front of the Monte Carlo done so beautifully. Just so beautifully. Anyway, then we turned around and that's when we went. Yeah, we went to Italy next, and
The Leaning Tower of
Pisa,
Pisa.
which was pouring down rain. And then we went on to Florence, which is,
Florence is where they made statues and paintings.
I was there.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
it's,
amazing.
Florence was amazing.
Joe, some rich guy, he was so rich, he hired hundreds of people to do sculptures, paintings and that. It's amazing.
He supported the arts, is what he did, the Medici family.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we did Florence and then we went down to Rome. We were staying on the outskirts of Rome and we took a bus and then an underground tram thing into the heart of the city. And when we got off it and came up sidewalks level, there was the Colosseum. Right there, right across the street. And I mean, that's fabulous, that and the Forum, those ruins.
Well, I think we better finish this edition. We've probably been talking for an hour. So,
Was that the last trip?
To Europe.
to Europe.
We had another driving trip cross country where we did the more southern route.
Yeah.
And that's when we went to Arches National Park and Bryce Canyon and,
Where horseback ride started my back problems.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, that
Going down
area
the
up
canyon, right?
Yeah. What?
Going down the canyon.
Yeah, at
Not
Bryce.
the Grand Canyon, Bryce Canyon.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
So then we came back and we went to Mesa Verde and that was fascinating.
Oh.
We visited my friend in Oklahoma City. She took us to where the bombing was.
Well, in Mesa, we took a helicopter ride.
No,
Right.
that was Sedona.
Sedona, yeah. And it was fun. And it took us right up close to these caves in the side of the cliffs.
Where people lived.
And then
Campers.
later on, we went to some place and it's where the Indians or whoever used to live, and they lived in the side of the cliffs for protection. And their farmland was up on top, so they would climb up the cliffs to go up and work on their crops. And we went down into those areas, into those caves.
That was Mesa Verde.
is that Arizona?
It's at, no,
Well, Merritt Mesa is Arizona, that trial we're watching.
no, yet not Mesa Verde though. It's, you know, there's a Four Corners out west where there are, okay, it's right in the state that's here, Mesa Verde. It's near the Painted Desert.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Well, let's wrap it up.
We had another good trip I forgot about was
We're not gonna wrap it up.
Nashville.
Oh, yeah, the Grand Ole Opry.
Yeah, and the
Was that,
hotel we stayed at.
When I was working,
Mhm. No,
oh, the hotel, yeah.
Pat Canal and
Oh, yeah.
gondola ride in. And we had a couple great trips planned that we didn't get to take because of my mom being ill. We had a great trip planned. He was in Dallas on business, so I was going with him, and then we were going to Mexico. And we were going to Chichen Itza, in where the Mayan ruins are.
Oh,
And we were gonna stay in what had been a monastery. It was a great trip, but it didn't happen. So yeah, you can. I didn't
Yeah.
talk much about the sport with my great-grandfather was a wealthy businessman way back in the day. And he donated the land for their first cemetery in Tunkhannock, and my sister and I found it.
The cemetery?
And we took pictures of the first Sportwoods that came over their
Mhm.
graves. Yes.
Okay.
I was gonna ask about Aunt Marie.
What about her?
How much difference in age were you guys?
She's 3 years, she was 3 years older than me. Lacking a month.
But were you guys close when you were little?
No.
No.
I mean, we spent a lot of time together, because there weren't people going in every direction like they do today in families, but we were so opposite, she was so ultra feminine, and I
Oh,
just
really?
wasn't. I was up a tree or riding my bike off the wall into the berry bushes, or, I mean, we were just very different. She liked really girly things, and I didn't. She liked to cook, and I didn't. I got tired of how good she was, with the-
Well, she sang on the Ted Mack Original Amateur Hour on TV, her and two other girls, right?
Is that like a national show?
Yes.
Ted Mack?
Mhm.
I
Ted
wonder if
Mack.
it's on YouTube.
It's like back in the day, American Idol type thing.
Oh, really?
Really a lot smaller scale.
But, well, it was on for years. I think it was on first radio and then television,
Mhm.
and this was in the very early days of television. We had to go, in order to be able to see it, we had to go to some bar up on Quaker Lake, high up on a hill where they could receive it even. And so they came in third, which is pretty good considering that it wasn't seen in their own local area, so they didn't get, much local support.
It was like a quartet or something?
Trio.
Trio?
Trio.
And it was like a competition like Idol where they go in week after week or something?
No, they went down once and they sang, and then the next week they announced, and maybe if you won, you came back the next week. I don't really know, because they didn't win. But she was in, she was 9th to 10th grade when they did that, but they've been singing together for a long, long time. It was very
Well,
exciting.
didn't they have a tape that we played at her funeral?
Yeah, didn't I give you all a copy of the?
Yeah.
The
That
Melody
trio.
Yeah.
Girls, yeah. Joyce, the one who sang Low in the Melody Girls, they just got flooded out, not Joyce, they got flooded out really, really badly with the flood 2 years ago.
Joyce did?
Joyce and her husband,
That was older than us.
what was older than
Well, Joyce and
Wayne?
Wayne.
Yeah, Wayne and Uncle Roy became good friends. They met through Marie and Joyce, and Wayne was big into wrestling, and of course that's what Mike ended up doing, and Adam.
Well, maybe we can have another session.
Okay.
Okay.
Clearly. Tuesday.